Marc Rosset and Michael Stich came out just a few seconds ago to a smattering of applause. One thing that never ceases to amaze me, David, is how late the French arrive. Here we have a key match, a semi-final of the men's singles, and at the moment there must be about 1,500 people watching in this massive stadium.
Ah, yes, but I mean, the French have got their priorities right, haven't they? You know, what's a game of tennis compared with lunch?
True. You could have Agassi against Sampras, and there'd only be a few more here.
Yeah, that's right. It is a peculiar thing. I mean, I always get a little hot under the collar at Wimbledon, where, of course, we don't, in fairness, start there on men's semi-finals day until 1 o'clock rather than 12. But you look around all the hospitality seats and you know where they are and blocked off, and you think, well, they're all empty at the start of play, and all the people who've been queuing for weeks, it seems, the genuine tennis enthusiasts are all in. But it is a peculiarity of the French that at the start of play, it's a half empty. It's 7/8 empty.
Yes, I mean, I passed the stadium around 10 o'clock this morning, and there were long queues. As you say, they weren't queuing up to come on centre court, they were queuing up to go to the hospitality boxes. Well, there you are. Michael Stich, a brand new haircut for a big day. Even for him, this is a massive day. His 5th Grand Slam semi-final. He's been here before, and of course he's won a Grand Slam, Wimbledon '91. For Marc Rosset, well, this is absolutely massive. Never before beyond the 2nd round of the French Open, and he is chartering new territory here. Mike Morrissey of Britain, the man in charge. 2 big men. Michael Stich 6'4", Marc Rosset 6'7".
This must be a strange experience for Stich to be out there and see his opponent towering over him.
Yes. Let's talk physique and stamina and the ability to last. Michael Stich's had a relatively easy passage here. Marc Rosset hasn't. Just a couple of days ago, had to come from 2 sets to love down in a very big match against Bernd Karbacher. He won it well. Will he, do you think, have totally recovered mentally and particularly physically?
I think so. I mean, obviously, the fact in the Grand Slam you get a day off. Of course, the other two, Sampras and Kavelnikov, have had 2 days off. I mean, that is a huge advantage. He'd have just had a fairly gentle hit, probably a very long massage yesterday, both of them. And they'll have hit it, obviously, this morning out here on the centre court with their respective coaches. Mike being very sensible and putting his hat on. Rosset is less of a natural athlete. He's long, he's gangly. He can at times look remarkably awkward, but he proved that he has the stamina against Karbacher, because that was a long match.
It was 3.5 hours, and he went 5 hours, of course, in the heat of Barcelona to win the Olympic final against Audio Racing. So we're pretty confident about him. Michael Stich always, to me, looks frail, and his frailty and vulnerability to injury has been proved in the last year, of course, with that run of bad luck on the ankle, which he turned over late last year in Vienna and re-injured earlier this year.
Yes, he's a very slim man, slight of build, long of leg, but I have to say that his form, I think, has been the most impressive of anyone in the championships. The interesting thing for me about Stich is, can he maintain the very relaxed ambiance, almost, if I can use the French word, with which he's playing through this tournament. He said, you know, I only made up my mind at the last minute, mainly because Sven Grunewald, my coach, said, well, look, grass court season is vital for you. The more matches you've had before you get on it, the better. So go and play the French. So he came in here with no expectations. He says he's still got no expectations, which frankly is a little difficult to believe, because once you're in the semi-finals of the Grand Slam, you must be expecting to do well. I thought that composure was very nearly cracked by Pirlin when he lost the 2nd set. He was moaning about some calls, and he was love 40 down on his serve in the 1st game of the 3rd set. I think if he'd lost that game, Pirlin had a real chance, but Stich held. He then broke in the next game to go 2-love up in the 3rd, and from then on there was only one winner. So I'll be very interested to see, if it gets tough for Michael, whether he can maintain this lovely relaxed feel he has to the tournament.
Yes, for me, he is the most beautiful of the men's players to watch. He's a Rolls Royce of tennis players. Marc Rosset isn't. There's the head-to-head. Never met on clay. Stich won the first two in Stuttgart in '93 on carpet, and later that year in Stockholm. First one 3 sets, the second 2. Then in Marseille they met on the carpet the year later. Rosset won that, a tight one, 6-4 in the third. And then last year in Halle on the grass, Rosset won from a set down, 2 tie breaks after that, and he won them both. Stich, not a happy bunny. I remember that well.
Yes, and neither of them were happy because having got to the final at Halle, you would think they'd be coming into Wimbledon in good shape. They both lost in the first round.
Yes. Rosset, this enigmatic figure. As he's run through so far. Pretty easy all the way. First round, straight sets. Second round, third round. Quarter-final against fourth round against Stefan Edberg, straight sets, and then he ran into Karbacher, who for a long while looked to have his measure, but started to show some frailty at the end of the second set, which he just won, and then afterwards couldn't cope with Rosset. Rosset starting to come in more, looking more aggressive, and finished him off comprehensively, 6-love in the fifth. And Michael Stich, a couple of early 3-setters against Patrick Fredriksson of Sweden, and then Britt Gregorzetsi. Then things started to get tougher. Michael Tillström took a set off him. A really good win, the win of the year for him against Thomas Muster, the champion here, of course, winning in 4 sets. And then the match David was talking about against Cedric Pioline, also in 4.
Tactically, it'll be very interesting to see if Rosset continues to play the way he did against Karbacher in the third set. I mean, he turned it around. He said, well, look, I've got to do something different. So I'm going to attack more. I'm going to come into the net more behind my serve. And it made a huge difference, obviously. I imagine that Stich is going to serve and volley behind something like 80-75% of his first serves. He won't come in every time. He'll mix it up a bit. He'll probably stay back most of the time behind the second, but come in occasionally. So we know how Stich is going to play. I'll be interested to see how Rosset plays. The problem for anyone, as we look at Rosset's record, which is awful, never got beyond the second round, as you were saying, Simon. And remember, he's won 5 matches to get to this round.
Yeah.
To get to this round.
It was 1-3, lost 6 before he started this year.
Absolutely. The problem for Rosset is, where do you attack Stich? Because the forehand, which he's altered, is a great shot now. The backhand, we know, is a fabulous shot. Whereas Stich has got something obvious. Rosset's backhand is not in the same class as his forehand.
Yes, 1 or 2 backhand winners we saw from Rosset across court. There's the semi-final lineup. Michael Stich asking for Bruno Robert, the head of the umpires, and a couple of his friends to move out of his eye line.
Yes, it's Gilbert Sherm who's down there, the tournament referee. He was actually in that match against Pioline, complaining that cameras were popping up in that little section and distracting him, because obviously... and he's asking now no portable phones, so already maybe he's a little...
Yeah.
Tetchy.
This doesn't sound like a guy who's got no expectation of himself. It's a good gambit, because it seems to put no pressure on yourself. Everything is a bonus. And Stich has come in there, and I'm sure his frame of mind might have been like that last Monday.
Yeah.
But it's not like that now.
It shouldn't be, and I'm sure it isn't. The Swiss are having a good tournament, aren't they? Apart from Rosset, Jakob Plaseks in the final of the doubles. He and Guy Forget beat the #1 seeds, the Woodies, yesterday.
Big day for Switzerland. No Swiss player has ever reached a semi-final of a Grand Slam tournament in the Open era. In singles. Stefan Oberer, Marc Rosset's coach, on the right there. And Mike Morrissey obeying Stich's wish that portable phones should be switched off. Dead right too.
Au service, Michael Stich. Joué. Prenez place, s'il vous plaît.
So here we go then. Michael Stich against Marc Rosset, the first semi-final in the men's singles French Open 1996.
15-0.
Well, signs that Rosset may be a little nervous, mistiming the ball badly on the first 2 points.
Talking to Fru about this yesterday, about how long it takes for nerves generally to settle down. It varies from player to player. He thought around 4 or 5 games. Stich giving the player a hard look. Impressive serving, and the German gets off to a useful start.
Polo Sport, the fragrance and skin fitness line by Ralph Lauren.
This wall covers a lot of ground. It goes on forever. Nothing gets past. And when I play, I am the wall. I'm Michael Chang, and this is my planet.
Campari, never by chance.
Mark Rosset about to serve. Love one down in the opening set. Rosset, who's quickest serve this fortnight, 204 Ks. Joint third. Joint top is the man in picture, 205. Stich and Richard Krajicek. These are matches only on centre and the Suzanne Langlong court, so Greg Rosetsky didn't figure. But everybody else who we think might is in the frame. Translated into miles an hour, Stich's is 127.4, Rosset's 126.8. Yes, a bit of breeze. A bit more than when we began. Which will be welcome. Not that they get too much of it down there.
No, like all great stadiums, it's pretty much protected by the high stands.
Oh, just lost his footing.
I also think, Simon, he didn't think it was coming over. I think he thought it was going into the net.
Yes.
Suddenly realised and then tried to react, and as you say, slipped.
It's a beauty. Every shot he makes is a thing of beauty. First ace. Yes, Rosset is effective rather than beautiful, but there's hardly an inelegant move about anything that Stich does.